Hey, wow, okay, you're all here. Fantastic. I'm so happy to see you. Everybody should switch on your cameras, please, so that it looks much better here. Great. Hey, Mason, welcome back. Great. I'm happy to see a whole bunch of you from before. This is a joint session, by the way. It's all hands. So we have both students from CS2B as well as CS2A. Hey, hang on just one second, okay? Something happened to my window here. Okay, maximize it. Okay, that's much better. Great. Okay. Fantastic. I'm very happy to see you all. Let me, is that all? Yeah, well, maybe more people will join shortly. So just to put everything, upfront and very clear, these meetings are 100% optional, okay? So they're not mandatory because it's an online class. You don't have to attend class. Well, it's online. You don't have any formal lectures. However, okay, if you feel that you haven't participated sufficiently on Reddit for the week, from Monday to Thursday, meaning that not only asking for help, also giving help to other people. Okay, then you can consider coming to this meeting to top up the points. Okay, so maybe you got 7 out of 10 for participation. You won't know, of course, right? But if you think you might get 7 out of 10, you could say, well, you know what, I'll go to this meeting and try to get a couple more points. So it's more like 9 out of 10 or something like that. Okay, for the week. These points actually add up. Okay, all of these add up towards the end, where the participation score is responsible for quite a lot of your grade. Well, but that is not the reason to participate, by the way. As you know, you can talk to other people who have already been through this circuit in CS2A, and some of you are in CS2A, but there are 2B students in class now here who have done 2A, so you can also check with them. 2A and 2B subreddits, you should kind of look at them as by the way, how many of you know about the subreddits? How many of you have had a chance to read the syllabus? Okay, so I have to ask this question because a lot of students just enroll without having read the syllabus at all, and so I'd like to know how many of you. Well, I know a couple of you, but it's very important to read the syllabus because in the syllabus you'll find every single thing that you got to do. It is laid out step by step, except for solving the problems. And he'll say you do this, and then when you do that, you might end up with a problem, and that is for you to solve.
Where are you going?
Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions and interrupt me at any time. Okay.
Oh, can I use your ID?
Hey, by the way,
I almost forgot to
people in
ask.
the bottom row here, you should all also switch on your cameras too. Okay, it's fair. People on the top have their cameras on. The other guys are just observing. That's actually not a nice thing to do, I think. So everybody should switch on your cameras. Unless you have a really good reason, and then you can clear that with me beforehand.
Professor, I don't really have a webcam. I don't really have a webcam right now.
I see. Okay, that's okay. If you don't have one
if it's really mandatory,
you can let me know.
I'll have to switch to my laptop. Do I have to do that?
Yeah, no, if you can, but you should try to be on on camera and online at these meetings because it's going to be more collaborative going forward. By the way, I mentioned that these meetings are not mandatory. However, you can use these meetings to ask for help and also give help. Okay, so if you attend the meeting and just only ask for help, how do I fix this? How do I fix this? Can someone help me? And someone tells you how to do it and you go away, that doesn't really contribute to any points at all. Okay, so you have to be attentive and describe your problem clearly, that tells the other person what you've tried to do, and then the other person gives you suggestions or vice versa, right? So that is rich interaction, and you should have lots and lots of this in this forum because that is how people have really helped themselves a lot before. Okay, so in this class, it is not a woke kind of class, meaning that you can't get by without knowledge. Okay, so you got to do certain things, and you can't squeak past based on difficulties in life, or hardships and shit like that getting in the way. Life is always happening to everybody. Okay, so I can't cut slack to one person because they had an earthquake under his house. But cut slack and in a sense that extra time over other students. Okay, what we can do at Foothill, especially, is if you have a disadvantage, if you have a challenge in meeting the requirements, okay, so meaning that at the end, well, if this was a a neurosurgery course, okay, you'd say, well, at the end of this course you should be competent enough to open up a guy's head and operate on his brain, okay. So just because you got some hardships in your life, we can't just give you a pass, okay, so you can go and try and practice on someone's head. That doesn't, it's not the way it works in professional circles, okay. It's okay for high school, maybe not even high school, okay, but it doesn't work anywhere that you want to learn seriously, okay. If you just want to get a paper qualification, I think that kind of approach is okay. But I think my personal opinion is that paper qualifications are history, okay. They're going to be totally history in just a couple of months even from now, because who cares if you know how to do something or not, okay. Especially in the last month, I've had more scripts written by ChatGPT than I've written myself, okay. And they're all like super duper clean, and these are not even the high paying versions, free versions. And software is getting really, really good. They'll do all this stuff for you. So what really is important is if you are able to look at a problem and solve it, okay, and you have lots and lots of opportunities to do that in class. And the important thing is not to give in and give up, okay. Lots of people in 2A, you can ask the other students to give up too soon, okay. What that means and tells me is that they don't believe in themselves, okay. If you believe in yourself, you're not going to give up. You say, well, I'm going to solve it. If it takes me a day, if it takes me a year, that doesn't matter. I'm just going to get to the bottom of this, okay, without someone else's help. Because if someone else helps you to get through it, whether it's ChatGPT or your uncle or your mom or dad or brother or sister, you didn't do it, okay, you just gave up. You got someone else's help to squeak through. You can squeak through your life, all your life like that, okay. The best thing to do is to learn not to squeak through when you have other people in support around you saying, okay, this is how don't squeak through. So when you are stuck, and you ask in the forums, don't be impatient, okay? And when other people are trying to help you, try and figure out solutions on your own. All of these things will actually come to you. These are available to every single student in every single class, okay? Whether it's Foothill or any other university, doesn't matter. These are, the problem really is, well, it's not a problem, right? It is the mindset of the student that determines whether the student is going to learn or not, okay? It so happens that in some classes, you get an A, even if you don't learn, okay? In my class, that's not the case, okay? Only if you learn, you'll actually get an A. You shouldn't be doing it for the grade anyway, okay? You should be doing it for the learning and the experience. You will never get this experience anywhere else, okay? You have to find, even if you go to some top college, there are many courses. The chances of you landing in the right course with the right community, right support structure, and interesting work to do, okay? Something that keeps you, on your feet and saying, well, I got to do this, I got this tomorrow, okay? But keeping thinking about all of that stuff coming together is very rare. It only happens by chance. Even, when I was doing this system and, questioning and all these things, I didn't expect it to be so successful. I just thought, I'll squeak by and use it for a couple of quarters, but students actually loved it. And then, I'm a couple of changes, and I've been running with that for 4 years now. Okay. And students love it every single quarter. And the Reddit also, the community has grown significantly. So it doesn't have to even have me from, after I retire, next year, I don't have to be around. The community is self-driven. There are lots of committed students, intelligent students, clever students. Everybody is intelligent, obviously, right? Committed and clever with lots of time. They're all helping each other. Okay. So it's going to be marvelous, but it's only what you put into it. Okay. So all of you have to make time and make sure that you are not enrolled in one or two more challenging classes. If you're doing 2 math classes, like pre-calculus, vector calculus, or something like that, and doing this, then you're basically screwed, okay? Because math classes, I think someone said in the Reddit too, math classes are more understanding, whereas here you got to try and do it, okay? No, actually, that is not true, okay? Math classes also is not about understanding, because anyone who has actually done a real math course, okay, hard problems, and they look through the textbook and say, I know how to do it. I can understand all the steps. I can understand all the steps. I can understand all the steps. And you go to the exam and you get the exact same question. You've been stuck. If you've not had that experience, then I think, you would have missed out on, what that feels like. Okay. So you got to totally work through every single math problem in order until they have at the end of every chapter they'll have like 100 problems. Yes, the books are getting fatter and fatter with exercise problems every single day. Right. And same with computer science. And it's not that you have to do every single problem. Okay. So that is the first mistake. Students always think, oh, I got to do every single problem. No, that's not the case. Okay. There are lots of problems. In order to help students, help even, the student that is least committed will get the concept if they go to the end. But most people don't have to go to the end, right? There's 100 problems, but you got to work through all of them, or at least all of the ones the teacher selected. Actually, the teacher will select things like, prime numbers, odd numbers, and things like that. No, you should actually set yourself a goal. I'm going to go through all of them until such time as it clicks. Okay. So every chapter has an important concept that has to click in your mind. Okay. That will not happen just with mere understanding. Okay. Mere understanding, you'll just get a superficial aspects of anything, where, light bends around a star. Okay. All right. That's mere understanding. But in order to understand exactly how it happens, you calculate the gravitational equations and all of those things, that really shows exactly, I know how it happens to the minute details. Okay. And that is what it takes to become a professional computer science or anything, astronomer. Well, computer science is a whole lot cheaper than astronomy, isn't it? I never get tired of telling this to my past students ever. I think even now, right? Computer science in the future also, right? Or math, something like that. Cheapest possible, entertaining and fulfilling hobby you can ever have. Okay, skiing, whatever it is, scuba diving, even, aeronautical engineering, rocket science, all of these require huge investments of time and money. Okay, and you need a sponsor and all of these things. But here you can actually do some kick-ass research and, figure out the most complex corners of the universe, the mental universe, unexplored territory. You can do that all just by sitting in a corner of your home. So that is why I think that this is actually fantastic, especially in the future when, machines are going to take over a whole lot of grunt work and you're going to be left with a lot of time on your hands, right? Now, if you think about it, your time is actually money. A lot of students don't realize that. And then what AI has gotten really, really good at, okay? And maybe lots of people I talk to don't seem to realize this. AI has gotten really, really good at is basically siphoning your money away from you without you knowing, okay? What that means is that based on your likes and dislikes, it has a very good model of what you like, okay? And it is able to, if you get into a feed, if you get stuck in a feed, okay, it can make sure that successive articles that you see will just, make up for that little loss in, this excitement. You can keep scrolling endlessly and you can keep watching this if you're not careful. And how does it help? That is because AI is basically sucking those cycles out of you. These are idle cycles. At the end of the day, you're not going to say, well, 15 hours I just spent watching a movie, right? A Netflix movie, or you can say, I'm going to be proud of that. Okay. But if you actually spend 15 hours cracking a hard problem, you're going to be proud of that for the rest of your life. Okay, so but you don't know that you lost 15 hours because those 15 hours were surreptitiously sucked out of you without your knowledge by AI that presents you exactly what you need to see in order to be able to prime your mind to show you the ads at the right time to suck some money out of you. Well, basically, the money comes out at specific times, but the time itself is spread out over all of your entertainment. So just make sure that you don't get sucked into Fortnite, Prime, Netflix, all of these things that have or shows that have repeated cycles is hook and keeps not when you're a student. Okay, maybe afterwards you don't have to work and you can waste your mind away. You can do all those things obviously, or if you want to write some exciting stuff. But certainly I think you should don't enroll in more than 2 challenging courses, please. Okay, if you're planning to do this class, because if you enroll in at most 1 more challenging course, you can, to make up for your units, there's so many other courses at Foothill you can choose. Okay, you can choose classes in ceramics, a fantastic studio, right? Acting, improv, public speaking, marketing, but all of these things are interesting. So you can do these things that are not challenging for you because you're not majoring in those areas. You're not going for an A in those places. Okay, you're just going to ceramics to have some fun and throw some clay. Yes. Okay, and it kind of relaxes you. And while you're throwing a clay, you can think about this. Hey, why is this? My pointer is, always getting broken in that code. You can think about that while you're throwing. So that kind of relaxing experience you can have by filling up your units and getting. You have to do 12 units, by the way. Okay, for most of the benefits. And in fact, I got an announcement from the college saying, tell all your students that if they should enroll for 12 units in order to get free tuition. Hey, that's what it was. Okay, free tuition. If you do 12 units, apparently you're eligible for free tuition. That's really cool, isn't it? I didn't realize that, because in the past I would have, been like super excited and telling all the students about it. But I just got this email today. So see if you can enroll in 12 units, but make sure that this class, don't drop it, because I'm only teaching this for a couple more quarters. I'm retired after that. Okay. You can do questing. I don't know if someone offers questing, you can continue to do the questing, but best to do it now. So don't drop this class. It is a fantastic experience. I shouldn't be selling it, obviously. If you don't do it, you don't do it. That's it. Okay. But I just know that everybody has told me that it's a great experience and it's fantastic learning. You get to learn real computer science. And by the way, people enrolling in this class saying, I want to learn C++. Okay. I already know these languages. I want to know C++. That is bonkers. Okay. If you go to a computer science class, you're learning computer science through that language. Okay, so you're learning to think through English. You're learning to think logical stuff through mathematical symbols. Okay, so the language is just a vehicle for getting the concepts into our head. It doesn't matter what language it is. If you learned in Python, that's fine. Okay, it's going to be exactly the same. But if you didn't learn in Python, or didn't learn, and if you say, I know all these languages, I want to learn C++, and then you're struggling with C++, that means you didn't learn all those languages properly. Okay, you just got a certificate, or got people to wave you, or got someone else to code for you, and squeak through. Okay, so this will be the real test to just find out if you really know the stuff, because it'll go through computer science principles, and you'll actually have to understand everything before you pass. But it will be totally worth it, because after this, you can go to any class, any university, top universities of the world. You'll actually know your stuff. Okay, and you can talk one-on-one with someone on the whiteboard. Okay, without feeling intimidated. That is really what it is. Okay, when I interview people, most of the time when they're talking on the whiteboard and coding stuff, most of the time they're not at the best, because they're intimidated. They're trying to please you. They're trying to say, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. What the hell? That's not the way an interview should go. Because what an interviewer is looking for, or I was looking for, or I am looking for, I used to be when I was hiring and all, is not someone who just says, oh, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. No, you want to say, hey, I'm really excited about this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Hey, did you try, null pointer, fill that with null pointer. Maybe that'll work. Okay, because that will make sure that it's not quadratic anymore. Because it'll hit, all those interesting conversations. And those are the things that interviewers, if you have one of those conversations at the end of the interview, you don't have to wait for a letter from a recruiter. Okay. At the end of the interview, you'll know, right? So all right, I've nailed that job. And that is the thing you're going for always. Anything you're trying to learn, I think that is, what we're going for. So that is what it is about this class. Okay, so enjoy your time in this class. If you have any questions at all, you can ask now. Okay, I'll answer. I won't be attending this meeting from next week onwards, just because I love to attend these meetings. If people invite me, I will attend. But mostly I'd like you guys to, and by the way, don't use chat. Okay, never. Even when I'm not here, don't use chat. If you use chat, and especially if you type your question in chat and someone answers your question, you get negative points for that. Okay, every message in chat will get -1 point in participation. Okay, and the reason for that is because some people will just say, well, I'm just going to go to the meeting and type in some chat messages and back and forth like an AI chatbot and get the answer and go away. No, you should participate with your face. Okay, and like a person. All persons who can participate in these meetings will get top-up points for their participation for the week. Okay, so I won't be attending these meetings, but if I'm invited, I will absolutely consider attending. I will also consider at some point to give you a live coding session. Okay, Lauren, I'll get to you in a sec. Okay. Right, live coding session. I don't know if are there any people who did 2A with me who did live coding in class here today? Hey Mason, did you do my 2A with live coding, or was it a summer session online?
I was summer.
Oh, you were summer? I see. Well, I don't know. Someone, Simon. Hey, Simon, you're here. Yeah. Okay, Simon, and there's other people who actually done live coding, meaning that we just pick up an interesting problem, like a simple game that you can do in a half hour or something, and you will code it while I call out the code, or your classmates call out the code. It's actually a great deal of fun. There's a lot of videos of us doing that on YouTube. Okay, so you can go and check it out. Maybe we don't have to do it, but you can actually, when you play the video, just envision yourself in the shoes of the person who's coding. Okay, and then you'll actually be able to hook in very quickly, and it'll be very easy. So we can do that too. I'm always here to come and talk to you guys. The only thing that I strongly discourage is don't ask for answers. Okay, just describe what's going on and ask for hints for how you can find the solution yourself. I want to reiterate, the goal of this class is to find out how you can find the answer yourself. Okay, the goal of this class is not to find answers. Okay, all right. The goal of life itself is not to find an answer in that way. Is to find out how you can find the answer yourself, right? So that's where we're going. So don't yeah, I won't you know, there's no negative points for just asking a question like that, but I'll delete those posts, okay, on Reddit. Not just me, there's a few other moderators from previous classes. If they see posts that say, you know, it is not working, can someone tell me what's going on, they'll just delete it. But on the other hand, you can make a post that says, hey, I'm getting this null pointer error, or, you know, I'm not getting this matchup happening properly, and I'm trying to do this. What am I doing wrong? Okay, that is fantastic, because it'll not only help you, it'll also help other students. Okay, and if you find someone make a post and it helped you, also make a post on the same comment on the same thread saying, hey, I also followed the advice and it worked. Okay, that's all very good. You know, additional reinforcement for students who actually helped you. I helped that person, but look, so many other people thanked me too. Okay, all of those contribute to positive, good experiences in class. You always want to have positive, good experiences in all of the classes you enroll, not just this one, all of the classes, because the positive experiences also reinforce what you learn. You're cementing in your head. Okay, if you have a negative experience, I think, you know, most people just turn off and say, you know, to hell with CS2B, right? I'll just focus on, you know, some other class this quarter. So just keep it positive for everyone. It'll be great fun. Okay, and I'm here. I'm here, and we'll have online sessions whenever you guys want. And every week, even though I'm not going to attend, I will. These meetings are being recorded, and make sure that you talk. And when you're talking, you should be on the screen. Okay, because if there's too many people, I don't know if too many people will happen. There's too many people. Maybe you're talking and Zoom doesn't show you, right? Your face. Then I won't know. Can I know? Yeah, okay. Well, actually, Zoom does provide a transcript in which it tags the speaker ID to the person. Yeah, you know, but then I'll have to script it, and it's a pain to line it up. So all right, so you got to make sure that when you're talking in this video, make sure you talk. No, chat means it doesn't appear, you don't get points, right? Grab the screen and talk, and then you'll be on screen. I will watch all of those videos, okay? Even if I'm not attending, I'll watch these videos. That's how you get, and sometimes even if you don't get points immediately, you may get points later on, so don't stress too much about it. And so I think it'll all be fun. People have completed the course in summer, okay? That's 6 weeks. So you got double the time, but doesn't mean that, you know, you still have to be on your toes, but we're all here to help you. Hey, Lauren, thank you very much for your patience. Okay, what is your question?
So just to clarify, these meetings will be every week, and they're just like an extension of the participation on Reddit?
Yes, yes. It's Thursday, not Monday. Only the first meeting is on Monday. Yeah, is that okay? Does that answer your question, Lauren?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you.
Hey, by the way, Lauren, did you pronounce it? Someone named Lauren posted on Reddit saying I pronounced my name Lauren. Was that you?
Yes, it's Loren.
Oh, Lauren.
Loren.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you for that. And are there any other questions that I can help answer before I disappear? And then, you know, you can have the rest of the time today, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, just to get to know each other. And you can basically just, you know, come up on screen and say, hey, hi guys, how are you? I'm looking forward to this. That's enough. Okay. If you don't have to, by the way, you can, but if you do that, you'll have an opportunity to test if when you're speaking, you're actually showing up on the screen. Okay. Which is actually important for me. Even if I do some software to separate the blocks, but it's important that your block shows up and with your face that I can do a good ID for. Okay. All right. Hey, Ayush, you got a question?
Yeah. Hi, Professor. I had a question about like the syllabus. I just wanted to clarify how the participation points work. So the participation points are separate from the reflection, or are they coupled with the reflection, or are those like separated? Because like on the syllabus,
there's only one. So there's only one reflection due at the end of the quarter. That's the final reflection that has 10 points.
Oh, there's no weekly reflections?
People do weekly reflections just to make sure that, you know, I don't miss any of their participation. Because during the week you may have participation, yes? And you may comments and posts and so on. The end of the week, what I do is I, look at all your participation. But in the past, we found that, some of these posts weren't showing up for me, or comments weren't showing up for me. Some important things weren't showing up, and I missed them, and people had to email me, hey, I posted these interesting things. You didn't give me points for that. Yeah. To make up for that, I think a few quarters ago, students just started posting reflections saying, hey, at the end of the week, this is all I did. Okay. And they had links in there.
Oh,
Not
I see.
links, not like a list of links, I did this, and it was a, hot link there. And that really, really helped me. So if you do a reflection, you can be sure that I won't miss any of your participation. And if you miss your participation, you can always ask me, right? You can email me, but you can get, you won't have that headache if you post a reflection. Yeah.
Okay, and the participation points are based on like an everyday basis, right? So like how you participate
almost
every
day.
single day.
Okay, but it doesn't mean like I got to do something today. I got to do something today. No, that's not the right approach. Okay, so you got to be thinking about the problem that you're working on, whether it's a concept you're reading up or googling or watch a YouTube video you didn't understand. Okay, or even a quest thing that you are stuck on. You got to be noodling about that when you're biking or having dinner with your friends, whatever it is. And then before you go to sleep, maybe you say, well, you know what, I've thought about it long enough, and I'm going to post a question. I'll look at the answers tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? So you're gonna be doing that almost every day, because otherwise, I think Joseph made a point. Is Joseph here? He does 2B. Hey, Joseph, are you here? Joseph Lee.
Yep, Joseph Lee.
Hey, you. I don't see you. Hey, how come I can't see all of you guys here? Where are you? Can you? Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah. How come? Can you say something, Joseph? Your rectangle wasn't getting highlighted. Can you say something? Hello or something?
Can you hear me?
All right. Maybe I just missed it. Okay. Yeah. So I think Joseph posted a reflection last year that said it's not just for participation that you post. You guys daily, right? You got to do daily posting because you got to get into the hang of it. Because initially it's hard. I can tell you, right? Putting yourself out there, whether it's just going and talking to a random stranger in a bar, or just making your first post on a Reddit, whatever it is, putting yourself out there, it is hard. Okay, but it's not impossible. So you just got to do it a few times and say, well, it didn't work out so well that day. Maybe I won't use that line. Okay, you refine it, and in a few times, you'll just know, because you've done that so many times. It's predictable. Okay, this is how right. But someone's got to push you, right? And because it's not your home, I'm not your, if it's a home and a parent, my parent usually pushes you, right? But this is my class and you're my student, so I'm going to push you in order to make you leap off that cliff and say, well, I'm on my own now. That's what it is, right? When you post, you're on, because you're saying, I'm stuck. Can someone help me, right? Because even though I have ChatGPT, who I can ask like that, or mom, dad, sister, whatever it is, I'm gonna do this. And if I can't do it tonight, I'm not just gonna take the easy route and get my uncle to do it for me, right? I'm just gonna post it and think about it. Maybe tomorrow I'll get the answer. And you have to believe me, because you can test it and find out and verify this for yourself. Okay, you will run into bugs, not so much in 2A, maybe after the 6th quest. Okay, the first 5. Yeah. Okay, you'll run into bugs when you're questing where it seems like totally impossible for you to solve. You say, well, I'm never ever going to solve it. If I'm not going to get help today, I'll get help tomorrow, right? Because even tomorrow I'm going to feel exactly the same way. And I can guarantee that every one of you will feel this at least some of these bugs that you're going to face. Okay, now the tried and trusted approach here, make a note, right? So you have to do this. And even if you're out there working, right, and you're stuck with a bug, don't immediately go and ask someone, hey, what's going on? Okay, you say, all right, I'm just going to do something else now. I'm going to play, practice violin or go for a walk, whatever it is. Just take your mind off it. Okay, come back to it like 2 hours, 3 hours later. You will have a completely different view. You will actually find the answer. And sometimes what happens is that people actually say, you know what, I spent like 2 hours writing this and it's not working. I'm going to throw it away. It's only 2 hours. I'll do it again. And you do it from scratch again, you see it actually works miraculously. Yeah. And that's because some of the errors that you make are silly, careless errors. And the nature of silly, careless errors is that they don't occur the same place every time. It's like noise. Okay. The reason why noise cancel out because it's random. It's in the Fermi calculation, for example, right? So if you're trying to estimate some quantity and you have lots of steps leading to it, you can actually get a damn good estimate of that final number just by making intermediate estimates and doing all this. So you want to calculate the total number of words or letters in a Harry Potter novel or some thick novel. Okay, You can actually make estimates. Then, well, this is the length of a word, okay? 5 letters, okay? That's the length of a sentence, like, I don't know, 10, all right? And 30 sentences, 30 lines per page. 1,000 pages, okay? And you can actually, and you're making all these simplifications, 1,000, 100, all round numbers, so that you can do all these calculations in your head, right? And they're all approximations, but the final result will actually be super duper accurate. Well, not super duper accurate, very close. Why is that? And the reason for that is because when we make these estimates, there's noise, okay? There's noise, meaning we are misestimates. We're going off. Okay, but what happens, because it is noise has this interesting property that is distributed equally across the mean, usually. Okay, so you make an estimate this way, you'll make another estimate this way, they tend to cancel out. Okay, well, not always, but most of the time. And so the final estimate usually ends up very accurate. And in fact, if you go to a product manager interview, for example, and I ask you how many window cleaners are there in Seattle, right? It's famous question, isn't it? Right? So you'd actually do that, how many buildings, all these things, and multiply all these things up and come up with a number. It may not be accurate, but it'll be very close in the ballpark, because the noise cancels itself out. And I don't know how we got started talking about that, but that is how this also works. So if you, recoding something, okay? So you code something, it didn't work, okay? Throw it away, code it again. What happens is that you will not get that back. You'll think, oh, I failed the first time, I'm going to fail again. No, you won't fail again. So many times you'll actually get a completely different error, which means that you won't feel frustrated because it's something else, but you would have gotten past that error because that error was a careless noise error. And noise errors don't tend to repeat themselves because, missing semicolon or, comma somewhere, you're not going to do that many times. It's not a conceptual error. Many errors are noise errors. And if you get stuck or phased by them, you'll be stuck. So just do it again. You'll be fine. Okay. This is a tip that is not mine. So a student, last quarter, or maybe the quarter before, his name is Sanatan. Actually, other students also said that. Many students have said that. If you just recode from scratch, it just works. Okay, many times. Okay? But you have to have that resolve, that mental resolve to say, I did 2 hours or 3 hours or 15 hours of work on that program. I'm not going to toss it away like that. Okay, but you got to develop that detachment to that. Okay, I say it's just a piece of code, right? This is gone. I'll do it again. So you have that detachment and just say, gone out the window, because it took me 15 hours. I can do another 15 hours easily. Okay. It won't take you 15 hours. It'll take like more like 2 hours because you've already done the hard part in your mind. Okay. So that's what it is. More tips. You guys will give each other more tips as time goes on. Right. I've only given like 2 or 3 tips now. And also when you post tip sheets on, quests, don't, post tips for every single mini quest and things like that. No, that's not a good tip sheet. Okay, tip sheet meaning some salient difficult things that you ran into, and saying, hey, here's a tip. I ran into this bug, and if you do this, just watch out. Something like that. That is a good tip. Okay, it's a hint, not a solution. It'll be fun. Okay, I think you guys will all have a great time. Hey, Ayush, do you have another question, or do you fail to, forget to remove, lower your hand?
Yeah, sorry, I had one more question. It was just about the difference between like blue dog and like blue pup. So I was a little confused about what that meant exactly.
Yeah,
and then like what you just said about mini quests.
If you can, by the way, you can ask these questions on the forum, because I'm pretty sure there's people here, not here in the meeting, who will also have the same question. You can post, or in fact, you can summarize this in the forum. Okay, difference between dog and when you do a quest, you'll get a password for the next quest. You can just move on. That means you pupped it. Okay, but then there are hidden trophies in that quest. There are more trophies than what you get before you get the password. So if you persevere and get every single trophy in every single quest, then you get 191 and more. Right? However, it is possible to just pop all of them and not get 191. Yeah, I think you can pop all of them for 170. Yeah, right. That's what it is.
So these hidden quests, are they like explained, like how to get them?
No, they're not. You won't be told this is where the hidden thing is. Go there. Okay, no. The hidden thing is what the hidden quest, the mini quest. They're called mini quests, not hidden quests. If you have a big quest, and the quest will say you got to do this, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you do the whole thing, you'll get, you'll go through and get the trophies. However, while you're reading this as a spec, if you're careful and read it like a professional, meaning that if a class is or something is asked to be implemented, and you're going to sell it out there, and people will basically try and break it in all kinds of weird ways. right? So those are all corner cases that your whatever the product that you develop needs to be robust for. It can, just because some rare condition happens, it can, you can't have a toy explode. Yeah. So those are corner cases. So you got to, and by reading this and trying to figure out what the corner cases are and testing them, you'll actually miraculously get more and more trophies. Those are the hidden ones. Now, how do you figure out where the corner cases are? How do you figure out where the trophies are? Okay. Obviously, you can ask and say, hey, guys, this is my list of my trophies. Who can tell me what's missing? Okay. Yeah, that's the poor man's way of doing it. Okay. The reason they're hidden is because it is a chance for you to develop that mindset. Okay. It's a mindset whenever you're coding, whenever you're designing anything. Okay. That mindset is everywhere you go, you're squeaky clean. You're not leaving any gaps behind. Okay. So that has to become integrated in your mind. And initially you may find it's hard to get every trophy, but when you're in red, when you're doing red quests, you'll find it a lot easier, because by that time, a lot of this would be ingrained in your head. And as you're coding, you'll actually be covering all of the corner cases. And those are the things that interviewers look out for, right? Maybe you're in 2A guys, I don't know. After you 2C, you'll be ready for, employment really. But those are the things that people look for. Okay, to essentially see, is that the code just flowing automatically and they're covering all the corner cases? Because only the people who are really, really confident of their logic and the code, and they have a mental mathematical proof that it is actually going to work. Okay, only those people can afford to spend the time to button up the corners, right? And say, all right, now I've got the rest of the stuff working. Now I'm going to do the corners. Okay. That is why when I interview someone, I always look for whether they're going for the corner cases. Well, obviously get the algorithm right. But, you got to be totally comfortable with the algorithm before you nail all the corner cases and get it squeaky clean. And so if you just say, all right, it works, yeah, okay. That is like a grade B programmer. Okay. And you want to be a grade A programmer, meaning that not only does it work, you can basically take it and throw it to the International Space Station. Anyone in the world can use it according to the API. It'll work perfectly, and not a single leak of, a single byte leaks. So, and you'll get into the habit of doing this. Initially, it may, but it'll just, once you fall into place, it'll be like super duper easy. But it is falling into place that maybe it happens to 10 or 15% of the students, okay, who go through this. If you go through the entire track, red, all the way to red, you have a 90% chance that you'll actually have that sense by the time you finish, okay? But if you, do 2B, I'm pretty sure that at least 30 to 40% of the students at least will be very close to having that sense already, meaning that you give them a task and give them a whiteboard and say, go and code it, right? They'll just code it. And take care of all the little details as they're coding. They won't do it and then go back and tidy up, right? Because going back and tidying up, that also works. But, it just shows that you're not as experienced, or you haven't done this in your head so many times that it just comes naturally to you. So you just have to do things repeatedly, just like music, okay? Repeatedly, until it's basically stuck to your head, okay? And say, all right, that's what it is, okay? That's what a G sharp sounds like, okay? And that's what we're going for. Hey, Sasha, you got a question too?
Yeah. In the syllabus, it says that quiz 1, mystery quest 1 is due week 1.
Yeah,
but in
Friday.
But in the action plan, it says there's no quest due week 1.
Oh, gee, okay, I forgot that. Okay, it is due. No, wait, no quest due on week 1. Yes, that's right. Where does it say quest 1 is due on week 1?
In the syllabus, it says mystery quest.
Does it say that under the due dates? There's a.
It says complete mystery quest 1 week 1.
Oh, wow. Okay, maybe I should change that. Only summer guys need to do quest 1 in week 1. I forgot to. Maybe I'm pretty sure I remember doing that box. I maybe didn't put it in the syllabus. I'll fix it. Thank you, Sasha. Okay.
Okay.
No, so first week 1, you got to finish syllabus quiz. You got to finish the syllabus quiz. And I think what was it? Joe or someone pointed out that syllabus quiz is a time waster, but really it's there just to make sure that you read the syllabus, just to put it in the right perspective. Okay, so read the syllabus. You don't have to ace it and all, but just to give you an idea of what this course is about. It's in there. So do it. Try to get more than 50%. syllabus quiz. And then you got a data representation quiz. Lots of you are already posting really interesting hexadecimal translations of your name. This is really, really cool. Okay, so go ahead and do that. I saw a lot of you using Excel spreadsheets and so on. Okay, try not to do that and do it by hand. I know it's pain. It's a pain in the ass to go and do this calculation. You can use a calculator to do the simple multiplication, like 27 to the 4. What is it? Okay, you can use a calculator for those things, but it actually does help to go through the steps on a piece of paper. Okay, if you do it on a piece of paper once, it's like doing it 5 times in Excel. Okay, or 1 time writing a program to do that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's it works better with a with Excel. But I just felt that if you work it out, you get a really good intuition about number systems, bases, and how you count, right? Can you go all the way back to unary, and then binary, right? Unary is just one symbol, yeah? It's binary, and then more symbols than that. What are the limits to this, right? Can you, and how do fractional numbers behave in this and that? And all of those interesting questions. However, unless you're also enrolled in discrete math, these are very interesting topics. Don't dive too deep because you'll get sucked in, because they're interesting topics, right? Because so save them for later. But you should get into them enough to enthuse you and spark your interest to get into data representation more. It's a great deal of fun. Okay, and by the way, if you talk to the other students, you'll find out that it is hugely important in C++, in advanced C++, 2B and 2C, for example. You need to know. How 2's complement works, and why is it negative, and all of these things are really super important. You can't just assume that, well, someone told me that I should never use a size D here, so I'm not gonna. Nah, that's not a real program. All right. Does that answer your question, Sasha?
Yeah, I have another one. What would
Yeah,
you recommend to get like all the information for like how to print something, or like all of that, like just YouTube?
You mean how to print something on the console?
Like how to learn how to do something in C++.
Yeah, there is a textbook. There is a textbook.
In like Canvas?
In the syllabus, I actually recommended a textbook.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Absolute C++.
Yeah, okay, I saw that. Okay.
By the way, since you asked this question, how many of you know how many of you know there is a computer science club at Foothill? CS club. Nobody knows there's a CS club at Foothill? Wow. Okay, there is a CS club, and they hold interesting things, hackathons, and stuff. But the reason I brought it up is because some students in the CS club took extracts from the textbook, from this thick, big, fat textbook that I talked about, Absolute C++. There are modules created by a previous professor, Michael Loseth. Okay, he was, I joined when he retired, so I basically took over. In fact, the sequence of topics, everything comes from him, mostly, some of it anyway. So they have hosted all of his modules online in the CS club. So if you go to Google and search for Foothill CS club notes or something like that, modules, you'll find it. And that is a distillation from the text, in case you feel intimidated by the, actually, honestly, the book is so thick, it is actually totally useless. You can't lug it around. And if you're going to leave it on your desk, how many people code in one, I don't know. It's very fat. And just finding information in that book is also hard these days. There's an e-copy, a PDF that's floating around. See if you can find it. It's probably easier to search. That gives you all the information about how you can do these, output statements and so on. Is that okay? Does that answer your question now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Jeremy, you got a question?
Yeah, I was reading the syllabus and it says that we get a participation points for our weekly reflections. When would we be able to see that? Just
no, that's someone else asked that question. I think, are you sure someone asked that question?
Or just like participation points, because it says if you didn't find you get as many as you would hope for the week, you can reach out to me. I was just wondering, is there a set time that we can expect to see those points in Canvas so that we can adjust for the next week?
I will, yes, I see. Okay, by the way, weekly reflections, again, I want to emphasize, they're optional, but they will make sure that you get your points, because lots of people, I recommend every one of you post a weekly reflection, including links to all of the cool things that you've posted in the, whether it's a comment or a post in the week, post it. Now, I will update the Canvas for your participation points Thursday as your meeting, and okay, I'll wait until Sunday, right? I'll updates for the previous week. I'll update Canvas participation on Monday, so you'll get a good idea of, hey, I only got 7, so I may need to up my participation and so on. Yeah, does that help you?
Yeah, thank you.
Every Monday, right? If I didn't do it, you can just send me email. Sometimes I might be in the middle of something and I would have forgotten. But if you're eager, I can absolutely do that sooner. Are there any other questions?
I had a quick question.
Yeah, sure, Elliot.
Two actually. One is kind of a dumb question, but this is week 1, right?
This is week 1, yeah.
Start. Okay, I wasn't sure because Canvas opened earlier. And then also, is there like a study guide or anything for the midterm that gets prepared or for the final? I don't really know what the format is going to be like for a CS class.
There is the midterm is going to be very similar to the data representation quiz, except the material comes from the first 6 weeks, right? Meaning, looping and all those things, branching. But it's going to be, the format is going to be exactly the same as a data representation quiz. Objective type, it'll be graded by Canvas. You'll get to see the score immediately. Right? You can get back to me. I also think that if you do really, really badly in your midterm, you can request a retake of the midterm in week 11. Okay, week 11, I will reopen the midterm for anyone who got less than 50%. Okay, if you did horribly on the midterm, you can get another chance in week 11. So don't feel stressed out. So take it easy, and and there will be a practice midterm that's like 3 questions or 4 questions. Okay, it's not really covering all the material, just to give you a format practice. Joseph, you got a question?
Yes. So looking at the, what's it called? The Canvas, I do see like there's kind of a grading scale on the homepage. But when I open up the syllabus that I downloaded as a PDF, it looks like they're 2 different grading scales.
Oh, they are? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I thought they were the same. This is 2B or 2A? 2B or 2A?
2B.
All right. So, all right. So maybe not tonight. All right. Okay. All right. I thank you for your patience and understanding, guys. Okay. I'll try and fix it tomorrow morning. Okay. I'll try and make sure they're the same. Which one is correct? The one in the syllabus is correct.
Okay, the one that I downloaded.
Yes.
It does say fall 2024 on it, so I assume that's the most up to date.
That is the correct one. The Canvas is out of date because Canvas is what comes over from the previous quarter, and I went in and changed all the things. At this bit, I must have forgotten.
Okay. And one question about, so I'm looking at the PDF, the 2024 syllabus. I do see 10 weekly reflections counting for, I guess, 100 points for 10% of the grade. So since those aren't required.
No, it's more than 10. I can't be 10.
You see 10 weekly reflections, weeks 1 through 11 for 10%. And then I see class participation and final reflection for 10%.
Oh, I see. Is this in the syllabus?
Yes.
Okay. All right. But, let me read the syllabus, and I'll, well, let's say the overall contour of the syllabus is generally okay. I'll go ahead and fix these things, and hopefully you guys can debug the syllabus for me. I shouldn't be asking you to debug the syllabus for me. I will take a look at it tomorrow, and I'll fix up all these loose ends. Okay.
But the reflections will not be required. It's just generally participation is.
Yeah.
I think like in CS2A it was like 20% or 25%.
Yeah, I think this one should also be, the participation is 20. What does the syllabus say? 20 participation is
for class participation and final reflection, it's 10%.
And it says this in the PDF and not Canvas, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll take care of these, Joe. Thank you very much. Okay.
What?
Tomorrow.
There's like a slight difference between the. Sorry, yeah. There's a slight difference between the 2A on the homepage and the Canvas homepage and that syllabus.
I'll
fix
difference. Both of them. I'll fix 2A and 2B syllabi and the Canvas sites tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for picking that up and letting me know. Because the syllabus is like the contract, okay? Because some students can actually At the end of the quarter, they can say, hey, a syllabus in line line 47 on page 3, it says this. Hey, give me 4 more points, right? So I just want to make sure the syllabus is correct. Anything else that I can help you with? Otherwise, I can just leave the meeting. But the meeting, I'll have to assign the host to someone and then leave. And then you guys can talk and then drop off the meeting whenever you are. And when the last person goes, the recording will stop, and I will see if, I don't know if I should post it on YouTube again. I'll just leave it in Canvas, okay? And it should show up in Canvas Zoom, and you can watch the previous recordings there.
Professor,
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me a bit more about how do we submit our work? That part is not clear for me.
Okay, all right. Hey, Badon, why don't you ask this question in the Reddit, okay? For 2 reasons. One, it'll give you practice in posting a question to the Reddit. And 2, other people may have the same question and someone can answer and they can get points by answering too.
Okay, and about the Reddit thing. So I'm not really familiar with that. So they're like 2 separate group, right?
No, so what you want to do is just go to Google or somewhere and say, how can I create an account on Reddit that's basically it. How can I create an account on Reddit? Now, the important thing is to be able to choose your own username, okay? If you let Reddit choose an automatic username for you, it is, some weird name. So you got to say, I'm going to use my email address. No, don't log through Google, Facebook, and all these other things. Because if you do that, then Reddit will give you a username. Say, I'm going to use my email address to log in, or choose your own username. And then it should follow the format in the syllabus.
And I should post all my questions or reply on CS2B, right?
Now, if your questions are about the green quest, you should post them in CS2B. If you have questions about the blue quest, you should only post them in the CS2A.
Yeah, but about the submitting thing, how do we submit or something like that?
You should post in 2A because, by the time people are in 2B, they'll already know. Because
okay.
Also, if you don't know how to submit, you're talking about the first quest anyway.
Yeah.
That's blue.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, and then Fyodor, okay? Yeah. Jeremy, you got a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a question for the quizzes and finals. Is it primarily just going to be multiple choice and fill in the blank, or
No.
like
There will be
code
different kinds of
submissions as
questions,
well?
but they're all objective. They're not all multiple choice. Some may be many options are correct. Some may be only one option is correct. Some may be true or false. Some may be fill in the blanks. There's many different kinds.
Okay, so the only code submission really is the quest, though, in this course?
No, well, yeah, code submission is only in the quests. That's a homework. However, in the exams and the quizzes, you'll get given code, okay? And say, hey, what happens on line 47 when the code reaches line 47? What is the value of X? Now, the thing is, if students may think, oh, you know what, it's this code I can copy and paste into my IDE and run it and look at the value and put the result in. But it takes a hell of a lot of time to do that. If you do that, you won't have time to complete all of the exams, all of the questions. So you got to do enough of the homework and enough coding on your own to practice, so that when you look at a question in the exam, you can just run it in your head. And when you read it, your mind is computing it just like a computer. And so you'll be able to have the answer ready to go. So the goal of this, CS2A, not 2B, okay? The goal of CS2A is to practice enough to be able to run a great deal of rather simple code in our head without having to get into an IDE. Because, later on, it'll get harder to do it. You'll have to go use an IDE, but you got to get into the habit of running simple fragments in your head as much as possible. And if you got to be forced to do that. Otherwise, people will just, use the IDE. I hope that answers your question. Hey, Fyodor, does it answer your question, by the way?
Yeah, thanks.
Great, Jeremy. Fyodor, you got a question.
Yeah, hey, Dr. And, how you doing? So
good, thank you. Yeah.
My question is whether every school has a program where you can have a regular class be deemed as an honors class by taking extra initiative or special curricula with the professor. So I wanted to explore an opportunity whether I can have this as an honors course, like by doing the
Uh,
work.
actually, well, if you want to do this as an, no, there is no, first of all, an honors course, if computer science offers an honors course, or decides to offer an honor course, it takes at least a couple of years for us to propose it, get it through the curriculum committee, and have it, go through all of the state, and it has to be approved and all that. It'll take 2 years. So we're not offering this in honors level at this point in time. However, for an extra challenge, you can always complete green quests. You can, dog all the blue and complete the green quests. Green quests are really challenging. The only thing is you may not get, explicit. Well, maybe you can get better grade in 2A for that, but there is no mechanism for me to give you a, a different course credit.
But I thought the honors program is applicable to any course, and you can
No,
just
not for any course. It has to be, the program has to exist. We don't have a program.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
We had one, but it, we actually canceled it because it wasn't very successful. I think, I forget, it was during the early days when I joined, I think we had one. Well, we didn't have many students coming in, so we just decided to can it.
All right, good to know, I guess.
No worries. Ayush, you got another question?
Sorry, yeah, one last one. You just brought up the green quest, so those can count for points in 2A as well.
No, they don't. You got it. Basically, if you ace, if you dog the blue quests, okay, then you can get points from the green. But anyone who dogs the blue quests won't need to get points from green, because they'll if you dog the blue quest, you'll pretty much be close to the maximum grade.
Strong. Okay, pretty strong. Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
And by the way, if you do the green quest, by the way, any one of you, if you do the green quest, you can actually, it is just preloading your work if you do my CS2B later on. I'm offering CS2B next quarter in winter. And also, I think I'm offering one more time, the spring. The spring is the last quarter. I retire after that. So 2 more times. If you do green quest now, hey, yeah, it's still working. I forget this, but sometimes I get this. This is fireworks. This is fireworks. this is fireworks. Oh, this is confetti. What is fireworks? This is fireworks. This is fireworks. Anyway. Yeah. If you dog the green quest, even if you complete 1 or 2 green quests, you can use the same code, right? When you actually do green, you can just submit those programs. Those green programs take a lot of time. But you won't have to, you can save all that assignment time in green by working on quest now. But of course, you got to dog blue before you do the green.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So you have your curriculum has 3 color codes, right? 3 quests. So you have, it starts with the blue.
CS2A is blue.
Okay, and then it progresses to
CS2B
green.
is green.
And then it goes to the last, which is what, red?
CS2C is red. I'm only offering CS2Z 1 more time next quarter. Actually, so if you're not doing 2B this time, I don't think you can do my 2C or questing 2C. Yeah.
So my question is, we can do all 3 colors in this class, correct?
Yeah, you can if you want, but you're not going to get credit for those other things.
Oh, so if somebody completes, if I was to complete all 3, then how is that gonna apply to the next course?
Yeah, in CS2B you won't have any homework. You'll only be helping you'll only be helping other people.
Got it. And then also applicable for C as well, right?
Also for C. Okay. If you complete, anyone who completes C will feel an incredible sense of accomplishment. Okay. Just do it and you'll find it. Okay. Just do it. It is a lot of work. It'll take a lot of time, and you have to consciously set apart time. You can't say, it's not like, I'm very clever, intelligent, I can understand things and read through it, just like math books, right? So you understand. No, it doesn't work. You got to set apart time, like music practice. You got to do it, even though things looks like it's not going to work. Keep on doing it. That is what builds confidence. And by the time you're in 2C, you will actually be like super duper happy and glad. I look forward to seeing you guys. Even if you're not doing my 2C, because I'm only offering it next quarter, you should still go ahead and complete the red quests. Okay. And I will be there. Other people will be there to help you too. It'll be fun.
But the C would only be the C curriculum would only be applicable in your course, right? I mean, in your particular
Yeah,
class.
in mine.
Right,
However,
got it, okay. But
if you do them, I think Lane Johnson is the only other professor who's offering CS2C and whom I trust to actually know the stuff solid. So if you happen to do either my section or Lane's section in 2C, you'll find that even though the assignments are not the same, there's a whole lot of synergy, okay? So meaning that if you spend 10 hours on one of my problems, you may have a very similar problem, not identical, but you'll not spend 10 hours on the problem. If you hadn't done it, you would have spent it, but in Lane's section, you would have, spent only 1 hour or something like that.
So the
So
C is a lot more. So the C is a lot more about data structures and that sort of thing, algorithms.
C is more about problem solving. It's about problem solving, meaning that you may not even see the solution many times.
Got it.
And you have to think about the whole thing in a completely different perspective, too. And the thing is, in computer science in general, or maybe in CS2C, there's only a few of these problems that give you a brand new outlook that leads you to the solution from a different perspective. Okay, there's a few of these in all of these courses. Any course you do, there's a few of these. And so it's important for the student not to waste these opportunities. Okay, maybe there's out of this 9 assignments, 7 of those assignments will have, or maybe 5 of those assignments have these things, insurmountable problem. And you go to sleep, and the next day you come back to it and say, I'm going to look at it in a completely different way, and then it actually clicks. A different perspective helps. That experience is greatly helpful in the future life of a programmer, because programming is all about perseverance, not giving up. Those who give up never succeed, right? Those who succeed never give up, right? So, and in order to not give up, you have to go through that repeatedly and say, not be faced by it. I'm going to do it, right? And repeatedly. And by the time you're facing these hard problems, you'll actually have very good intuition about, and they're all, perspective shifts, like many of these. You have to, again, experience that, saying, hey, I can't find a solution here. Doesn't mean I'm not going to find a solution. I need a different perspective to tackle this, but I'm not going to get that perspective in the next 2 hours because my mind is now so engaged with this perspective. It's not letting go. Yeah. So you got to, like, you water a plant, you got to let it, give it some time. You got to let that perspective evaporate from your mind. And that takes maybe overnight, even a few hours, going for a walk, whatever it is. Then, only then, you will be exposed to the other perspective. And so you have to expose yourself to both. And that'll only happen if you don't ask someone else to solve it for you, right? If you ask someone else to solve it for you, you lost that opportunity. There's only 5 opportunities, 4 opportunities. So if you squander away all of these opportunities, it's like, as good as not, total waste. And that is why, yeah.
So based on what you're saying, pair programming is really counterproductive to learning.
Oh, sorry, counter. You said counter?
It's counterproductive because
what productive?
Pair coding, like peer programming.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Is counterproductive.
Yeah, well, no, it doesn't have to be. Anything can be counterproductive if used in the wrong way. Anything. Yeah. So pair programming can be a fantastic asset if the people who are programming know how to do it. Not just in classes, even in companies that I've software teams that I've managed. Because we used to have things like pair programming, people solve these, didn't result in overall productivity improvement for the company. And the reason for that, I found out after looking at how these things are happening, is that they need to know, people who are in that thing need to know how to use that tool. If you use a tool without knowing how to use it, it doesn't work. It's counterproductive. So when you're pair programming, it's important not to say, well, I'm stuck, can you take a look and tell me what's going on? Then each other help, that doesn't help at all. But when you're stuck, you got to keep at it until you're totally frustrated, ready to give up and say, well, I'm going to take a walk, I'll come back, maybe you can take a look at it and give me a hint later. That's the good kind of pair programming, even in companies, not just in classes.
But to attain mastery of the subject, let it
do it on your own. Don't do it. Right now, until you get to a company when you're working and all, don't.
So one more question. So with C++, do you see a future in terms of AI or its usability in building?
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, you're not learning C++ in this class, although it is a C++, you're learning computer science. And C++ is a language. It's just a language. Doesn't matter. And I think I like C++ to teach computer science because it lets you get into all of the little things about computer science. Because I can teach it using Java and some other languages too, obviously, right? Because algorithms and high-level stuff can be taught. But there are certain things about how computers work, the computer science, the mathematical proofs, and so on, that you cannot emphasize strongly enough if you are doing it in other languages, like in Python, for example. Yeah, you can emphasize high-level stuff. But C++ lets you get right into the detail. And when someone is a hardcore C++ programmer, I know exactly what the hell he's talking about. Or he or she could be just doing something on the board, and people can tell. They know about computers. Okay, and that is what machine code, machine level programming, assembly programming, C++, all of these. Machine code, you don't need to go there anymore. Okay, after you got literate programming like C++ and C, it's enough. C++ is strong enough to be as powerful as machine code, at the same time as expressive as you need to explore a lot of difficult topics.
So C++ would allow us to think more intuitively as computer scientists that would be more transferable in machine learning, AI.
No, you can do machine learning even without C++. In fact, you can do machine learning without programming at all, just by learning, mathematics and linear algebra.
Oh yeah, okay, got it. Okay, understood. Right.
C++ lets you implement things really fast and efficiently, and also understand what's going on under the covers. Sometimes you may take two matrices and say, I'm going to use NumPy to multiply these matrices. Yeah, and you get a result matrix and say, this is a product, and what? Yeah, okay, right. But how does it actually happen? And should I be calling that multiply function 5 times or 10 times or n times? Right? You won't know these things until you know how the multiplication actually happens. When you implement that in CS2C, you'll know, oh my gosh, this is cubic. I can't call it too many times, right? I got to figure out ways to optimize all of those things. That'll only be very,
that's awesome. So in C, we in the C curriculum, we get to implement like matrices, that sort of thing.
Even in Java, I'm pretty sure you'll be doing that even if
no, not the language, but in the section C, in the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, but you got to get to CS2C to do that.
And so we'll be implementing a lot of matrices, linear algebra sort of thing.
No, not lots. You can actually look at the all of the specs are in the Questopedia, right? I think that there's about one or two quests that deal with matrices, but there's a whole lot of other interesting problems too, right? In computer science, not just matrices.
Yeah.
You have different ways of sorting, hash tables, all of those are in CS2C, but you got to master all of the stuff in CS2A and 2B to be able to tackle those things.
Got it. All right, thank you.
No worries. How come someone's calling me on FaceTime? Maybe I don't know if that's a student or not. All right. No, nothing else for me? All right. I am very psyched, okay? I'm very pleased to see all you guys, all your beautiful, happy faces and eager and, ready to get rolling. And I am also super duper excited to keep looking for these posts and comments you're going to be making on Reddit. Already, I'm having a great time. Some of you guys are making some interesting posts and I'm reading those. So I read it all the time, right? Even if I'm traveling, if there's Wi-Fi, I just read it all the time on my phone or iPad. It actually entertains me greatly. Not just to see what you guys are doing, just to put myself in your heads and say, hey, you know what? There's a student who's struggling through this. Let me try and remember how it was for me. Okay. And that kind of reflection is actually very great deal of fun. Say, oh my gosh, this is really challenging. How come, and the funny thing is, I think Mason made a post last quarter Mason, are you still here? Oh, maybe he's gone, right? He made a post saying that it's important that you read other people's posts because other people will say, I got stuck in this bug. And you say, I never got stuck in that bug. I just went clean past it, okay? So there's people get stuck in different bugs, but they're not all the same. If you read other people's posts, you can see those, wow, oh my gosh, I miraculously escaped these people, right? These bugs. It doesn't mean that, I'm clever, I escaped these bugs. Just got you lucky, right? I'm lucky I didn't get these, but I got those instead. But by reading the forums and looking at what the challenges other people are facing, now you get a full perspective of all the different places you can get stuck at, not just the ones you got stuck at. Yeah, because luck will basically say, hey, you got a easy, free pass here and there. But if you read other people, that'll be greatly beneficial. You also comment on them and say, oh my gosh, yeah, I have no idea how I didn't consciously account for that fact, but still I passed that mini quest. How did that happen? Okay, that could be an interesting comment too. All of these things are fun. Okay, just keep it lively and interesting for everybody, and it'll be fun. And I look forward to this class. Okay, so I can disappear now if you don't have any questions for me. You guys can talk and then drop off, and then when everybody's gone, the meeting will shut down automatically. Is that okay with you guys? Does anybody else have any questions for me? Yeah. Okay. Who's here? Spencer, Aaron, Alan, Alan. How do you pronounce your name? Alan or Alan?
Alon.
Alan.
Yeah.
Alan. Emiliano. Yeah. Emiliano, Julia, Badon. Actually, I recognize most of you guys from the posts that you've made, okay? Because I remember the posts that you've made. Yash, and Christine. Hey, Christine Arakel, is it? Is your last name Christine Arakel?
Unless there's another Christine, and my last name's Lee.
Oh, Christine Lee. Okay, because I got an email saying Christine Arakel dropped the class, and I'm seeing you in class. And how come you're here?
That's not me.
Yeah. Okay. Leo, Jeremy, Sasha. Sasha, well, what is your Sasha is what you go by, or is it your?
No, it's Alex. I just forgot to change it into
Alex. Okay, because it's.
I'll change it after this meeting.
Yeah. No worries. Okay, Simon, yeah, so he was in my class too, I remember. He was in my face-to-face class. When I taught CS2A, you were in and you actually dropped me off one time too, yeah? In your race car?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Munami, yeah, I think I saw your post also on the Reddit. Ayush, yeah, Brandon, Joe. Hey, Avi, I haven't seen any posts from you. Did you post anything?
No, I don't think I did yet, actually.
Yeah. So you should try and get into it. Everybody should try and also needle your companions and friends, okay, who haven't posted. Somehow they have to make their first post, okay? Just someone has to push them over the edge. Making the first post is hard. Just like starting your English essay. The first paragraph is hard, isn't it? Okay, just getting your thoughts. Make that first post, even if it's just introducing or saying, hey, I got stuck here, whatever it is. Make it, force everyone to do that. And after that, it'll just start flowing. It's just getting that initial block through. All right. Thank you all very much. I'm like super duper psyched that this quarter has begun. So I will hope to see you all again next I'll watch the video next week. Obviously, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask in the forums. But more so, answer each other's questions. That's going to be super more important, okay? And help each other. That's the fun part of it. All right. See you all later, okay? Now, I need to assign the host to someone. Fyodor, can you take over the host thing?
Yeah. So what do you want me to do?
All right. I need to end the meeting, and it'll ask me. Leave meeting. Yeah, Fyodor is ahead. Okay.
Okay. All right,
everyone. I guess he's gone.
Yeah, I think he's gone. Yep. Well, hey, nice to meet everyone. I'm looking forward to this amazing class and an adventure in CS, in computer science. And I think this is about it.
I had a question for you guys. I guess I'm not familiar with what is it, this quest site at all, and I haven't jumped into it yet, but am I to understand? I guess I literally have printed out the first quest and then the syllabus and kind of skimmed through it. But the way we submit assignments is just by including a comment at the top that is like student ID and then our student ID, and we submit that, and it kind of goes in for our.
You're talking about the blue one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I just want to make sure that I'm
there.
I was under the impression that we would like sign into this website somehow with our student ID from Foothill, but I guess it's all done in the submission, right?
Yeah, it is all done
yes.
already.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't it need to be your Reddit name though? Not your student ID?
There's a certain protocol that is required for the submission. I mean, from what I remember when I also glanced at it, but maybe somebody else would know more about it and chip in.
So I'm literally
there
just
was a post.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, I think there was a post on the Reddit that asked for the people in the class if we should use our student ID or the Reddit username. I don't know if he's responded to that post yet, but that'll answer that question. I've been going through some of the quests already, and in each quest, it gives you a sample starter code. And basically, the first line is always a comment that says student ID.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
And that's where you put your student ID in. So then if you go to the other site, the one where it's like /Q, and then you put in your student ID, you can see all the trophies that you've earned. Does that answer the question?
I think so. Not directly, but I think you've given me the tools to figure it out. So yes.
Okay.
And I think there's some passphrase, right, Julia? For the submission to the other site, you got to use some kind of passphrase.
Yes. So the first passphrase is given to you. I forget what it is, but then once you've earned
named Fangs.
Right, that one. Once you've earned a certain number of trophies on passing that, so once you pass the tiger one, even if you haven't earned all the trophies, right? So that's what he means by dogging. You get the passphrase to the next one. And when you get the passphrase, that's when you've pupped it. So you can immediately start on the next quest, even if you're not fully done with the first quest.
Wait, about the passing thing, how do you know if you passed it? That's the thing. For example, the blue one, the first one, where basically what I have read is that you just have to print out hello world and then you have to submit it, the very first one. So if you do it, then does it give you the password for the next quest automatically, or you have to do something else?
As long as everything works, then it'll give you the password. For the first one, it actually tells you the maximum number of trophies that you can get. I think it's like, I forget how many, but the first two quests, because I finished the first three already. The first two tell you the max number of trophies possible, so you know if you've like finished everything, and completely like dogged those quests. Starting, I'm guessing at the third quest and onward, it doesn't say what the max number of trophies is. It just says how many you've earned.
Okay, and you get to see the number of trophies you have earned after you submit the first work, right?
Yeah, so when you submit on the actual questing portal, you like just drag the files in.
Yeah.
And there was also a post on Reddit that said make sure your files are named exactly as it says in the instructions, otherwise like his code that he runs doesn't work. So it'll be two things. The first window after it runs will show if there's any build errors, and if you get any errors, you can't get any further. So you have to fix any like errors or warnings that come up first. And then if it builds successfully, then you can select like another tab where it's like test output or something. And then that'll show if you got how many trophies you've got, and then if there is output differences between what you printed versus what he was expecting.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a general question in the chat thing from Yash asking if there's any penalties associated with wrong or incorrect submissions. Julie, have you had any experience in that?
No, I'm pretty sure you get unlimited submissions. There was also, I think this was a question in the syllabus quiz, that if you submit a perfect file as actually your first file, it could be flagged as, I don't know, just flagged. So you're actually encouraged to submit like incremental ones so that there's proof that the work is yours and you didn't copy it.
So does that mean we should like make our first one wrong, theoretically, to like make it better, or like should we just submit the right
so
one
the
from
syllabus
everything?
says he's gonna go over it if it is flagged. So having it flagged doesn't necessarily mean like he thinks that they think you're cheating, but I don't think I'm assuming that like especially in the earlier assignments there might be people who just like submit it and it works right away, but he'll like look at it and kind of be like, okay, it's just the system being funky a little bit. But I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what the syllabus said, is that they'll look over it even when it's flagged.
Yeah, it sounds like more of a progress thing, and then like I'm pretty sure Hello World is like pretty straightforward. So like,
yeah, it's gonna be same
you're not
line
gonna
of
be
code for everyone. I think so.
Yeah, and in general, this is just me. I like to like test like small parts of it first. And then at least for the first 3 quests, like it's all like do one thing and then one thing and one thing. So I test, okay, does this first thing work? Okay, did I get an error? No. Okay, now I'll go to the next thing. Did I get an error? No. Okay, next thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. Yeah. Anybody else? Was any questions or comments?
So are most of the participation points like basically just off Reddit and like the weekly like discussion video like Zoom calls like on Thursday, or is there something else to it? Does anyone know? It's mainly off Reddit?
To my understanding, that's what it is, unless somebody else knows more about it. It is my understanding, it's just a lot of it is Reddit, as opposed to Canvas, because quote unquote, it can be used in the real world and you can go back after class, later in life and reflect. And that was my understanding from what I got out of the syllabus. So Reddit is the go-to and as the participation thing. So yeah.
Wait, so I was still confused about what he said about like mini quests or whatever those were. So like, is that just like the equivalent of like extra credit, or like how does that work exactly? Like so like if you do all the normal coursework, you would just get like the blue pup, like that percentage, right? But then the blue dog would just be like extra stuff you do after that, or what?
Oh, are you talking about like if you finish all the blue and you progress to the next one, the green, then you wouldn't get well, you wouldn't get extra credit for the other class, but you would.
No, not the green stuff. He was saying like some stuff about like mini quests, like you gotta fill out more cases.
Oh,
like
I
when I
wasn't.
asked him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't. Wasn't.
I don't know if anyone had experience with the.
I think you mean the hidden quests.
I think he's asking about like popping and dogging.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like to pop a quest, basically means you get the minimum amount of trophies to go into the next one. So you can unlock the next quest. To dog a quest means you get like all the trophies, the maximum amount. It's like you can get like 100% of the class if you dog all the quests, is my understanding.
Yeah, and like the hidden ones from what he said are like basically edge cases that, you know, if you're just going through it, you might not think about, but it's like these certain particular cases where it would screw up the code.
Oh, that makes sense.
Also, it sounds like the blue dog thing is all or nothing. It's like either once you hit above 190, you're like set for whatever the credit is.
Oh, really? So you don't need to like do any, well, like you wouldn't have to do any extra like for that, just for the points.
Yeah, the way I read the syllabus, at least, it's like once you hit above 191 trophies, you get the full credit.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if that's right or not, though. That's just how I interpreted it.
Okay. And I was confused what he was saying about tip sheets. What does he mean exactly by tip sheets? Is it just like a document or something we can post on Reddit to help other people, or like how is that different from like a normal Reddit post? Like, isn't it like the same thing?
I think the tip sheet is just what you post on Reddit. It's like, oh, I got stuck here or something, and
okay.
You know, like giving hints away on ways around it. I don't think it has to be a document. It's just like, hey, like this is what I ran into, and this is like the concept that helped me move forward or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna take off. I'll see you guys later.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah,
All right, see ya.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Everybody else good?
Yeah, I'm gonna head up too. Bye, guys.
All right.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, see ya.
Good luck. See you next week. All right, bye. Thanks.
Yep, see ya.
Peace.